Teenage crime in the UK. Teenage crime in the United Kingdom is becoming a major source of concern to parents, government and society at large. The increase in crime rate among teenagers in the United Kingdom comes as a surprise to many because people tend to think that teenagers are innocent. But recent events have proved this wrong, as we have seen that teenagers can also do wrong. And because the crime rate has gone up among teenagers, many have now admitted that it is a case of youthful exuberance. But is it the case? Let's find out in this piece. How bad is teenage crime in the United Kingdom? Teenage crime in the United Kingdom has gotten so bad, I mean very bad, over the years. According to the recent data from 2022, the arrest of teenagers in the United Kingdom increased by 7% in 2022 over 2021. This was equivalent to about more than 50,000 arrests. Among the offences they were charged with was sexual offences, which increased by 64% above the previous year. There were also arrests for drugs, fraud and weapon possession, but all of these did not increase when compared to 2021. What sort of crimes do teenagers engage in most in the United Kingdom? Teenagers in the United Kingdom are increasingly getting entangled in all kinds of crimes. Here are some of those crimes. Property crime. Property crime is one of the most common crimes teenagers in the United Kingdom engage in. Although no concrete data could be found to point out the frequency of these crimes among teenagers, nevertheless, there have been reports of teenagers committing property crimes in the United Kingdom. Common property crimes committed by teenagers include trespassing, house robbery and property destruction. Theft and shoplifting. Theft and shoplifting are another set of crimes committed by teenagers in the United Kingdom. Many teenagers in the UK are involved in stealing from shops, supermarkets, stores and even from individuals. Drugs. It is one of the prominent criminal activities engaged. Nowadays in the UK, many teenagers are into drug and substance abuse, trafficking and sales of illicit drugs to make money. Sexual offences. Sexual offence is another criminal activity committed by teenagers in the year 2022. Sexual offences among teenagers increased by 68% in 2022. Gangster criminal activities. Gangster criminal activities are becoming more pronounced among teenagers. Teenagers engage in gangster battles, knife attacks and many more. Antisocial behaviour and violence. This is a result of gangster activities. Some teenagers may engage in antisocial activity such as vandalism, public disturbance, robbery and some other forms of violence. Bugging of houses to steal is also another antisocial activity common among children. Cybercrime. Cybercriminal activity is particularly a big issue among the younger generation, including teenagers nowadays. Many of them are into cyber fraud, unethical hacking and other forms of evil vices. What are the causes of teenage crime in the UK? While we have looked at some of the common criminal activities engaged by the youth, it is also important that I point out some of the factors that affect driving these activities up. Socio-economic factors. Socio-economic factors is one of the factors that have often been identified as a leading cause of teenage crime. Since the end of Brexit and the impact of COVID-19, the United Kingdom's economy took a huge hit that has depleted many of the citizens' economic power. Socio-economic factors such as employment inequality, good and affordable housing and education have reduced inequality. All of this affected wealth distribution negatively. Concerns about wealth equality in the UK have further been aggravated by the impact of inflation and the Russia-Ukraine war. This impact has made the cost of living higher, particularly energy cost. Think about it, since the Ukrainian war, the cost of energy has increased drastically, with many household owners paying more for energy. Inflation is almost at an all-time high. All of these have altogether affected their way of life of many families in the UK. And because the quality of life at the family level is decreasing, many teenagers are at the receiving end because their quality of life is decreasing also. And so, to make up for this, many teenagers get themselves entangled in crime, drugs, stealing, robbery, and many more. Family condition. The next factor is the family condition. We all know that family is the basic unit of the society. This means that the development and the progress of every society is anchored to a great extent on the quality of family life. A good family would most likely give rise to good children who will ultimately be good citizens. while a broken family unit is most likely going to give rise to broken children who in turn spoil society. However, past years in the UK has shown that quality family bond is reducing. We are seeing more broken families in the form of divorce, separation, cohabitation, remarriage and many more. All of these have their impacts on the development of teenagers because most of the time this event in the form of divorce separation tends to be traumatic either physically, emotionally or even psychologically. And because they are traumatic, they can lead children from these families into crime and every other form of social vice. In essence, what I am saying is that the broken family unit is giving rise to more broken children who are not well cared for. And because they are not well cared for, they are running into criminals at a young age. Peer influence. Another factor that has contributed to teenage crime in the United Kingdom is peer pressure. Many UK teenagers are coming under peer pressure, the pressure of wanting to become and belong to. And of course, peer influence has gained a foothold in the lives of many teenagers in the UK because the family unit is broken too. Many children do not come from a good home as they are not being mentored by their mother and father together, and some are not even mentored or taken care of at all, and as a result they are exposed to highly negative peer influence. And guess what? They see their friends taking drugs and joining gangs, and they are either subliminally or not subliminally influenced into the same action. Substance abuse. Drug abuse in the past used to be common among adults, but the reality is changing now by the day, and more teenagers in the UK are caught in the web of drugs and substance abuse. According to a recent study, it is estimated that 1 in 10 children have one way or the other been involved in drug abuse. This is a sorry state that requires urgent attention. In today's world, teenagers do drugs, abuse substances, and engage in all sorts of illicit activities that increase their probability of committing crimes and having violent behaviour that probably may result in the breakdown of law and order. Mental health issues. Lastly is mental health issues. It is also one of those things that have increased teenage criminality in the UK. According to a report, about 5.3% of crimes committed in the United Kingdom were committed by mentally deranged people. This data to some people might be small, but overall it has some significant levels of impact on the teenage crime rate. The spiral effect of teenage crime. Teenage crime is a big issue in the UK currently. If not checked, it can destabilise the future of the country as it could lead to increase in the number of out-of-school children. As more teenagers commit crimes, many of them would go into gangster life and many of them would consequently be locked up in prison and even die. This would mean that many of them would end up out of school, and this spells danger for the future of the United Kingdom. Society safety. Teenage crime will be in the long run compromise the safety and well-being of UK society. Within society in the days ahead, we might start seeing increased fear, reduced trust, and a deteriorating sense of security among members of society. This would ultimately affect property values and more things in the society. Social costs. The increasing teenage crime in the UK will impose substantial social costs on society. These costs would include the financial burden on the criminal justice system, healthcare expenses for victims, property damage, and the costs associated with supporting incarcerated youth. Disruption of social fabric. Another spiral effect of teenage crime is seen in the disruption of social order. The presence of teenage criminal activity will erode trust between members of the public and generate social divisions, creating an environment of suspicion and isolation, which ultimately causes more toxicity. In summary, teenage crime is a big concern and it must be addressed head-on because a lot is at stake here for the future of the children and the country at large. And so that would bring us to the big question. What do you think should be done to address teenage crime? I await your answers in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment and turn on the notification bell.